The trade deadline is fast approaching, March 25th. So teams are going to get desperate soon. Trying to get rid of some players, get them off the books, and some teams are going to get some good pickups. So let's get into this video. We got 8 players who I think could easily get traded before the trade deadline. We're not going to include people like Bradley Beal, who, as much as I think he should be traded, he needs to get out of Washington. I don't think he will be traded. So these are 8 players, not guaranteed to be traded, but there's a good chance these guys could be traded. Anyway, on to number 1, JJ Redick for the Pelicans. JJ Redick, I'll say one of the best shooters in the NBA over the last 10-15 years. And the Pelicans seem to, not need him anymore. This year, JJ Redick, he's averaging 8.7 points per game on 40% shooting from the field and a career low 36.4% shooting from 3 on 4.5 threes a game. So he's declining. He's 35, 36 at this stage. He doesn't have long left. He'd suit a contender, perfectly. As a Laker fan, obviously his defense isn't great. He doesn't really play defense actually at all. But he brings some good 3-point shooting. But looking around the rumors around the NBA, who's looking for JJ Redick? The New York Knicks keep popping up. And one trade I've seen here, Austin Rivers and a future second round pick for JJ Redick. I think the Knicks could do much worse than this. JJ Redick is a great guy to have in the locker room, very experienced. He'll help out these great young players the Knicks can bring them through. The Knicks need more shooting. They need a big man, but they need more shooting and need more, veteran presence. And this guy will bring that. You got people like Quickly, D Rose, an experienced guard, RJ Barrett. I think bringing JJ Redick off the bench, knock down some threes for you. I think that you can do much worse than bringing JJ Redick. And the Knicks also have the cap space to bring him in. I think he's on $13 million a year, so they can bring him in. I think it's on an expiring deal as well, so I think it's a win-win for the Pelicans and the New York Knicks. On to number 2, John Collins. Now John Collins, as we all know, has had a falling out with Trae Young, but he's had a good season this year with the Hawks. And the Hawks, Hawks fans, after getting Gallinari in that big contract, I'm sure you'd preferred spend the money on John Collins because I think he wants to max and he's up for an extension this off season. So far in the season, he's averaged 18 points per game, 7.6 boards, on 53% shooting from the field and 38.8% shooting from 3. So he's a very versatile big man and great player to have, and a young player as well. Rumours around the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Imagine that now. Timberwolves, they're still trash, but they'd have some good players on their roster. You think of Karl Anthony Towns, who, in my opinion, should get out of there, but at the moment he's a Timberwolf. You got D'Angelo Russell, obviously number 1 pick Anthony Edwards. So bringing in John Collins, I think he can do much worse. The Mavericks supposed to be linked with him. I think he'd be a great fit with the Mavericks for sure. The Celtics being linked with him, I don't see him going there. But let's just say he went to the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves would probably give up Malik Beasley, Jake Layman and Naz Reid, and then they probably get Tony Snell, John Collins and Okongwu to make the salaries work. I don't think for John Collins' career that this is the best move. I think the Mavericks would be a great move for him. But you have to wait and see where he gets traded to. But in my opinion, I think you should go for the Mavericks, but you could end up as a Timberwolf. On to player number 3 now. We got Harrison Barnes of the Sacramento Kings. A lot of NBA teams need a big man, and this guy, a very experienced big man, bring a lot of leadership to a locker room. A few teams could do much worse than him. In 33 games this season, he's averaged 16.7 points per game, 6 boards a game, on 49% shooting from the field and 39.2% shooting from 3 on 4 threes a game. So he's converting his 3-pointers. He's on a very good season, an experienced vet. You know what you're going to get with Harrison Barnes if you bring him in. I think a lot of teams could do much worse than him. Of course, there's bigger names out there, people like Andre Drummond, Boogie Cousins. There's bigger names, but not every a lot of teams need a big man, and people are going to miss out. So Harrison Barnes, I think you can do worse than him. Teams that could use a big man, you think of the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics. Plenty of teams could. The Lakers could use him, but I don't think the Lakers could get him in. I don't think he's going to get bought out, so it won't be easy for the Lakers to get him, or the Nets, I don't think. But let's just say the Miami Heat, if they want to go make him a member of the Heat, he'd be a great member in the locker room. The Heat need more front court depth. They could get him in. They probably give up Kelly Olynyk and Iguodala, who's about 37 at this stage. So it's not the worst player to give up. But I don't know. Boston Celtics also do with him. So we have to wait and see about Harrison Barnes. But I think he can get moved on from the Kings fairly easy. Another player who's been linked to the move away from this team for a long time is DeMar DeRozan of the San Antonio Spurs. And this season, I think for sure that an All-Star snub, he wasn't happy being left out of the All-Star team, especially when players dropped out and Mike Conley got brought in. He wasn't happy with that. This year he's having a great season with the Spurs, and surprisingly the Spurs are having a great season as well. They're 7th in the West as this video is being recorded, so they're doing great. This season he's averaging 20 points per game, 4.9 boards, 7.2 assists per game, on 48% shooting from the field and 30% shooting from 3. He's taking more threes this year. You know, he's obviously not converting in all of them, but he's improving. He's expanding his game. Teams that could do DeMar DeRozan, there's plenty of them. You know, the Blazers. I think the Blazers are an outside team for him. You know, he can go there, and the Spurs might get, you know, Nurkic, Rodney Hood, players like that, a few picks. That's what the Spurs really want, because they're in a good position at the moment. So DeMar DeRozan wouldn't surprise me if he gets moved. You know, I'd love to see him with the Lakers. The only problem is he wouldn't really fit with the Lakers. You know, the Lakers need 3-point shooting. He wouldn't really bring that. But I think a lot of teams could do him. He'd be a free agent this offseason, and a lot of teams save back their money in case Giannis became a free agent. He isn't, so there's going to be money on the table this year. I think DeMar DeRozan hopefully goes to a contender, because I really like DeMar DeRozan. I wish the best for him, you know. The Mavericks also as well could do it. But anyway, another guy that I think could get traded, and we all know this guy is going to get traded probably before the deadline, is Victor Oladipo. Now Victor Oladipo, we all know, started the season with the Pacers. He's going to be a free agent this offseason. Has been linked to the Miami Heat for years. You know, he could still get shipped off before the trade deadline, in my opinion. The Rockets would probably want to get something from him. This season, he's had a pretty good season, averaging 20 points per game, 5.2 boards, 4.5 assists per game, on 40% shooting from the field and 33% shooting from 3 on 7 threes a game. So he's taking plenty of shots for sure. Oladipo, it just seems bound he's going to end up as a member of the Miami Heat. He seems to be linked with there for ages. So I don't think the Heat are going to trade for him, because they're going to know at the end of the season they got a very good chance to bring them in. The Warriors have been linked with him recently. You know, the Warriors need another ball handler, and even as a 1-year rental, I think that could be great for them. You know, obviously Clay will be back, hopefully back to his best next season. So bring in another ball handler, take the pressure off Steph Curry for the season, maybe get into the playoffs. I don't know. They probably give up that second pick, that pick they got from the Timberwolves, and maybe Andrew Wiggins. I don't know, but you know, I think as a 1-year rental, the Warriors could do worse than bringing in Victor Oladipo. Another player that looks bound to get traded is Kyle Lowry of the Toronto Raptors. He's a legend in Toronto. Obviously brought them that championship with Kawhi Leonard and those guys. It seems too obvious that the Clippers will go for him. You know, Ibaka is there with the Clippers, Kawhi's there. The Clippers desperately need a point guard, but you know, I just don't see it. I think he's destined to go to Philadelphia. There's been rumours for weeks he's going to go to Philly, and Philly need a point guard. You know, they got Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid there having a great season, but they're going to need a point guard, another ball handler, in my opinion. And Kyle Lowry, what is he, 34, 33, 34, 35, around that age. He's come near the end of his career, and the Sixers kind of like win now mode really, so I think they should go for it. This year Lowry averaging 18 points per game, 5.5 boards, 7 assists per game, on 45% shooting from the field and 40% shooting from 3 on 7 threes a game. So he's well able to knock it down. He's having a good season, and if the Raptors move on Kyle Lowry, it just shows that they're going into full rebuilding mode. And you know, the Raptors, what they really need is a big man, but I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers can offer him that. A trade for Kyle Lowry from Toronto to Philly would definitely include Danny Green, make salaries work. Danny Green's at $15 million. He's an expiring contract though, so that's okay for him. Probably Tyrese Maxey or Matisse Thybulle. They're going to give at least one of those young players. But the Raptors are fairly sorted in the guard position. So I see, you know, Danny Green, probably Matisse Thybulle, a few picks, a few other players know how to make the salary work. Probably be enough. And the Raptors, you know, they're very happy with Kyle Lowry and what he's done for them. I'm sure they'll ship him off to where he wants to go. Another player, PJ Tucker. He's been linked with lots of championship teams that want to go for it this year. And PJ Tucker, you know, he's a player you'd love to have on your team. He's only averaging 4.4 points per game, which isn't, you know, he's not there for scoring. 4.6 rebounds on 36% shooting from the field and 31% shooting from 3. He's definitely a corner 3 shooter only, really. He takes 0.8 threes a game. So, I'm sorry, 2.7 threes a game. So not too many, but the corner threes are his thing. And the Lakers have been heavily linked with him. The Lakers, if they want to get PJ Tucker, probably include THT, Taylor Horton Tucker, who's having a great season. He's only 20 years old. I've watched all Lakers games this year, and Taylor Tucker's got a lot of potential. I think it'd be great for the Rockets if they can bring him in. I'll probably Wesley Matthews as well to make the money work, and maybe Alfonso McKinney. I don't know. He's been heavily linked to the Lakers. He can 3-and-D really, and that's what championship teams need. He can guard any player. I remember watching Lakers Rockets series last year, and he was guarding AD. So he can guard nearly any player. He'll give his all, knock down the 3-point shot at a high level. I think championship teams are going to be circling this guy, and whoever gets him have done very well, because I think he's a great player. And next on the list, he's been recently announced that he's going to be leaving the San Antonio Spurs. It's LaMarcus Aldridge. DeMar DeRozan, he's right in the list, but Greg Popovich has said in recent days that they're going to try and find a trade for LaMarcus Aldridge, and if they can't find a trade, they'll probably buy him out. Now, Shams, I think, said that they're optimistic that they'll find a trade partner. Me personally, I don't know how they'll do that. He's on $24 million this year, so you need to give a fair few assets, to get him. But LaMarcus Aldridge, he's a very good role player for a championship team for sure. But he's not good enough to be the main man anymore. LaMarcus Aldridge this year, I think he actually lost his starting spot as the year went on with the San Antonio Spurs, and the Spurs are actually 7th in the West, so they're a playoff team at the moment. This year, Aldridge, in 21 games, he's averaged 13.7 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.7 assists per game, on 46.4% shooting from the field and 36% shooting from 3 on 1.3 threes a game. So Aldridge, he's a stretch 5. He reminds me a lot of Marcus Gasol, just a better version of Marcus Gasol. He's very immobile at this stage, very slow on his feet. He can shoot the 3. He's a they call it a 3-level scorer. He can score mid-ranges, layups in the paint, and of course 3-pointers. I think he'd be a very good fit for a lot of championship teams. I think he'd be a great fit for the Boston Celtics, who he's been rumoured with, and they've got a trade exception after letting Gordon Hayward go of $28 million. So they can afford LaMarcus Aldridge's contract if they want to go get him, and they need a centre, so maybe the Celtics might go for him. The Blazers, where he started his career at, that'd be a great fit, a great way to end his career as well. Going back to Portland with Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, I think that'd be a good fit as well. The Nets are linked with everyone. He wouldn't be a good fit for the Nets in my opinion. The Nets, I know the Nets want all the players, but in my opinion, he's not a good fit for them. He's also not a good fit for the Lakers. And as a Laker fan myself, I've heard rumours of LaMarcus Aldridge possibly going to the Lakers, and I don't want this to happen at all. Even if he gets bought out and he's on a veteran minimum, I don't want him. He's just a better version of Marcus Gasol. We need a shot blocking, rim protecting, alley-oop catching big man. We don't need another stretch 5. He's a much better version of Marcus Gasol. We have Marcus Gasol, and we're not going to get rid of him. So we may as well get what we need. We need a shot blocking, rim protector, big man. So the Lakers are linked with him, but I don't want him. The Heat have been linked with him. The Heat could do with him. So there's a good few challenging teams that could do with him. Playoff teams, championship contenders. So it'll be interesting to see where LaMarcus Aldridge goes. And the final player, sorry, not the final player, second last player on this list is George Hill of the OKC, another point guard, also heavily linked with the Clippers. Now this guy I think is more likely than Kyle Lowry. He's averaging 11.8 points per game, 2.1 boards and 3.1 assists per game, and 50% shooting from the field and 38.6% shooting from 3 on 4 threes a game. So he's exactly what the Clippers need, a ball handling point guard who can initiate the offense, because at the moment it's Paul George and it's Kawhi Leonard bring the ball up the court. When Lou Williams is on the court, he'll bring it up, but he's not always on the court. It almost makes too much sense for the Clippers to go for him. I think the OKC clearly will give him up for a few picks or something. He could easily get bought out either way, but I still think OKC could get something for him. I'll be very surprised if the Clippers don't go for George Hill. I think he's a great fit for them, knocking down a 3 at a high level, ball handling guard, exactly what they need to get them over the line. Because the Clippers, it's all Lakers and Nets talk at the moment. The Clippers and the Bucks are going under the radar, and they need to get some, fill out their squad a bit more if they want to be in the conversation. And the last player on this list is very likely to get bought out, but the Cavaliers still want to find a trade for Andre Drummond. Now Andre Drummond, as a Laker fan, I'd love him to come to the Lakers, so I'm hoping he gets bought out, but the Cavaliers are trying hard to get him a trade. This year, averaging 17.5 points per game and 13.5 rebounds, a walking double-double. Not a modern NBA centre. If this was back 15 years ago, he'd probably be getting a max deal this offseason. He's more like a Dwight Howard kind of centre. But the thing is, Dwight Howard, back in his day, in his prime, that kind of centre was what every centre was like in the NBA. Now the centres have to shoot threes. even good passers as well. But Andre Drummond, I think, would be a great addition to teams looking to get into the playoffs or to win a championship. The Chicago Bulls have been linked with him. You know, they could make something work there with Otto Porter. The Raptors also been linked with him, and the Raptors need a big man. You could swap him with Kyle Lowry or something, you know, do something around that. I think that would work well for the Raptors because they desperately need a big man. So we'll wait and see about Andre Drummond. More than likely, in my opinion, going to get bought out. But the Cavaliers are definitely going to do whatever they can to get him traded. Find a trade partner for him. He's on $28 million, so an expiring deal. He'll want a big contract in the off season. I don't think he's going to get it, but hopefully he goes to the Lakers, brings home a championship. Who knows? Anyway, guys, that's the video. Tell me now, is there any players I've missed in this list? Obviously, you know, for most people doing these videos will say Lonzo Ball, Bradley Beal. I don't see those players getting traded. Lonzo Ball has actually had a very good season, in my opinion. He's definitely got better as the season went on anyway. Bradley Beal, he seems to want to stay as a Wizard. The Wizards are happy to keep him, so you know, I see him staying. But tell me guys, who did I miss out? Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on notifications. We have at least 3 videos coming out a week, and if there's any breaking news, there'll be another one. So thanks for watching, and with all that said, I'm out of here.